Oh, I need to change my thing. Whoops. Today's the 27th. Thanksgiving. I'm so effing tired. Holy shit. Like, dude. Let's see. What the fuck? What is happening? Okay. I need to actually clear these. Yeah, let me clear all these. What the fudge? Okay, everything should be clear. Need to open. I am. Should be pretty chill. It should be a pretty chill stream today. I'm really tired. Let's see how long I can go before it collapse. Before I collapse. Well. Yeah, Aldo, what's up? Happy Thanksgiving. I know you don't celebrate it. But guess what? I'm an effing American, so everyone celebrates it. Aldo Diva, welcome. Happy Thanksgiving. I know it's not Thanksgiving for you. You don't celebrate it, but you know what? F you. Doesn't matter. I'm saying happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Hi, Chan. Wait, hold on. Time out, Chan. Pay attention to your own stream, okay? Chan, pay attention to your own stream. Don't pay attention to my stream, okay? But happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving, you know? Please, I'd rather have Thanksgiving. What? What do you mean you would rather have Thanksgiving? Say what you're thankful for. You know, tradition wise, chat, everyone has to say what they're thankful for. I'm thankful that I'm thankful for y'all. So corny. I know, right? And look, Ibu, your boyfriend is here, bro. Chan and I are not in a romantic relationship. Okay, I don't know what made you think that, but that's not the case. Countdown to Christmas starts on late August here. Damn, late August. That's kind of insane, no? Isn't there not another holiday where you live, Diva? Or no? It's literally like Christmas and that's it. I mean that's kind of insane. No, there's literally nothing else. I mean I don't know. There should be another national holiday, no? Is there literally nothing else? If that's the case, I'm so sorry, man. That's kind of insane. What the hell is this? Oh yeah, I was doing this what homework stuff I had to do. Man, I haven't drawn enough quite in a bit. Check your DMs. Oh, I'm fearful. I'm fearful. If there is no one remembers it cause malls set up Christmas decorations on late August. Damn, that's crazy. I love being a Filipino. Hey man, there's a lot of upsides probably. Oh my gosh. Why do you have that saved? Why the hell do you have that saved? There's no reason for you to have that saved, Aldo. I know that's like a thing that you like saved. Also, what the hell, man? I don't know why you have that, but okay. Hold on. See. Let's get some good music in here, man. Uh, let's see. Ooh, something from Chrono Trigger? Nah. Y'all love Naoyo. No, Tayoyama. I love Nao Tayoyama. Have you seen my Freren art yet? Yes, I have. I have. On Chan's, right? That's pretty funny. It's pretty funny, if you ask me. I'm so effing tired. But here I am. But here I am. Doing gesture drawings. We're about to do gesture drawings. Oh, shit. Wait a minute. Dude, why the fudge is Chan sharing it on stream? The hell? I mean, it makes no sense, man. What the hell? Before I get too deep into Chan, I mean, into work. Let me say something real quick to him. Don't worry about it, man. Don't worry about it. Yeah, he streams on YouTube, Twitch, YouTube. He only streams on one or the other ones. Anyways, let's see. So the plan is to do gesture drawings and then go from there. We will see how tired I am after they do my hour-long session of gesture drawings. So, oh yeah. Well, can you give me feedback on feedback on what exactly? What exactly do you want feedback on? Am I said I'd be the best person to give feedback. Art, what specifically? I'm sending you. Okay, so NTR. Oh my god, why are you asking me to critique your NTR art? What the fudge? No, it makes me worried. It makes me kind of not want to do it even more. Actually, it has the opposite effect. Oh, Chan doesn't know what savior means. That's pretty funny. It doesn't sound. That doesn't sound like worry, bruh. I'm quivering. I'm quivering, man. You can't see it because it's done in such a way that's not visible on stream. Essentially, not exactly, but that's the essence of it, and that's what matters, right? Who cares about actuality? Oh, this is a cute drawing. This is kind of cute. Like what exactly? How to fix the anatomy, the look, the clothing, like what specifics do you want? I mean, it's a cute drawing. Not gonna lie. Your Dr. Lee is a very cute. Oh shit. Did I not save any of this? Okay, whatever. Oops, that's not very good. That's okay. Everything? Okay. Okay. So this is all those drawing. Dude, it's cute. I like it, man. Alrighty. Here are my crappy critiques. Both same girl. I sent one more. Okay. Okay. Uno más, uno más. Damn, okay. Trying to do a lot more like perspective stuff. Like, damn. Dude, these. Okay. Yeah, good, man. Yeah. I draw crap compared to this. Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about this character that you draw? Personality. What kind of story are you trying to convey with this with this character? With this character. She live pipe. What? Live pipe? What do you mean live pipe? You already drawn her. What? What do you mean I've already? What? I have. Wait. Wait. Is this the hold on. Let me scroll back to our DMs. I think I know who you're talking about or who this is. I could be wrong though. I won't show it on stream just in case, but isn't it? Isn't it? Hold on. I have to. I have to really scroll. Our DMs are so cursed. Dude, going down my DMs with all those somewhat cursed. Not completely cursed, but somewhat cursed. Is it is it is it this one? No, I'm saying our DMs, not the drawing. Okay. Don't misunderstand me. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. Not your drawing. I'm saying our DMs. Like if you were to show our DMs to many people. Oh, yeah. You know what? Yeah, that's her. Okay. She is punk now. I'm not saying necessarily punk. Okay. Okay. Overall, I came maker though. What do you mean you came maker? Came? Cometh? Uh, I guess is she wearing a backpack here? Is she or is she not? Because I mean, it makes sense if there's like a backpack and she's like saying I'm getting to go on a adventure. Yeah, okay. It's, it's I mean, I could kind of tell, but I feel like you need to have the straps a little bit more obvious. Crappy device. Oh, my main OC is beside her Lamau. I didn't even draw him. What? Yeah, but anyways, because typically if you're drawing like a pose to like show your character, I think you should exaggerate it just a little bit more, or make it a view where it shows a little bit more of her personality. Let's say you're doing like a character sheet, yes, but I mean, um, mouth position is a little weird. It's not like super weird, but it's a little bit weird. Because typically this is a general rule of thumb. You don't have to use this all the time. But let's say you have like a face, right? Let's say I just like super simple construction of the face right here. You have the nose, you have the mouth, you have the chin, you have cheeks, you have ridge brow, whatever. Music is loud. Okay, thank you for letting me know. I will bring the music down a bit. Okay, music good? Music good value? You gotta tell me. Okay, so this is general face. So typically, wherever your mouth is positioned should be wherever your midline is, right? Wherever your midline is, your mouth, I wouldn't say it has to be exactly on there, but it's generally a good rule of thumb. So, say if it's like positioned like, yeah, so let's say you have, I'm kind of like drawing the angle that you do with your character. With this view, right? This eye is kind of obscured, which is fine. You're gonna have your nose out. I mean, depending on the style of nose. But then mouth should be around here. You know how you have it to the side, which is fine because of I think what you're trying to do. But let's say depending on the chin is too. I guess it's just can't see them now. I say okay, okay, a little bit, or I'll do it on this thing. So where your midline is, you should kind of keep it like consistent, right? So maybe having so maybe having it, whoops, no, having it a little bit like right here. Mm, I know it's like a small difference. It's very nitpicky, but see, compare that one to this one. Like a little bit inward like this. And to really add to it, what I'll do, I will I mean, of course, you have to make this a little bit more noticeable, but I mean, again, it depends on style to like how like stylistic you're trying to make it. If you're trying to make it super cartoony, then you could definitely play with that a little bit more, or like in terms of like, I need to give her a pose a little bit more personality. Yeah, definitely, because when you're doing things like this, you want to show their personality, right? It's hard to say what their personality is. Whether it's, maybe you could work on the pose being a little bit more like, is she a little bit shyer? Is she more outgoing? And also, it should present with the like clothing as well. How does she wear her clothes? But yeah, this thing is really. I mean, this also is if she's like super, you know. Well, a shy one is a broken cosplayer, bro. Oh my god. I mean, again. So yeah, if we have the nose right here, the mouth right here, yeah, yeah, mouth placement I think should be here. Yeah, mouth placement should be here. If you're having it in the corner of her mouth, maybe like here or a little less. Again, it depends. I think eye placement is fine. Uh, since she's looking this way, I think you have to probably make this eyebrow turn a little bit more this way. Just a little bit, just a tiny bit to match, because when doing faces, right? The most important thing, or a really important thing to think about, is where the eye ridge is, right? The brow ridge, and this is where the eyebrows are generally going to be, or this will be the guide for a lot of things, because there should be consistency in terms of the perspective. If you do it like this, it looks a little bit flat compared to, again, it's supposed to be a little bit of a curve. So I think curving it a little bit to show that it's, you know, gives a little bit more three-dimensionality to your drawing, or you're adding that detail to show three-dimensionality to it, you know? Give her a rude but cute type. Are you asking me to? And then again, what is her pose? I think if she's facing this way and her head's tilted this way, I think that's what you're going for, right? In terms of this pose. If she's turning her head, you need to have this part be more out, because when you're twisting your head, right? It should be stretching a little, especially if you're looking this direction. So you can make this part a little bit more stretched. Oh, look. I'm looking all right. Okay. I think it's fine. Make sure, a good rule of thumb too, when you're thinking about when you are thinking about how to place knees and feet, they should be the same direction. If you look at how your knees and feet are, like on your own body, let's say you have your feet like this, the your knee is going to be in the same direction. So if you turn it like this, it will follow. it will follow. It will follow. So make sure to think about that. I think this is okay-ish. But again, if this is pointed like this should be pointing in the same direction. So I think generally this is fine. Yeah. But if you're pointing it like this should be out a little bit more forward compared to this. This should be in the back a little. Yeah. So maybe making this a little bit smaller. So probably what? Oh my gosh. I keep forgetting. So putting this like a little bit smaller, a little bit toward the back. Or you know what I'm trying to get at, right? You know, a little bit more perspective. Make sure these are in the same direction. Something like that. This looks a little bit more natural, right? Comparatively, if you look at it. Do you see that? Yeah, because because you have to think about it as like a it's one piece, right? So if you have one thing sticking out in the front, so you are really trying to bring this one forward, right? When you bring this out, this needs to go back, and then the foot is edging here. So maybe you could probably make this a little bit bigger, but yeah. And you call yourself a crappy artist? Well, yeah, I am a crappy artist. I mean, it is. Let me tell you, Aldo, it is 1,000 times easier to call someone out for their BS, or like to look at someone else's piece and be like, "Oh, this is what's wrong with it. This is how you can improve it, etc., etc., etc." When you're like doing it yourself, it's a lot harder to see those things. But anyways, um, another thing, right? Another thing to think about is the length of your arms are a little too short. They're a little too short. Um, I think they're a little too short. Again, of course there's like stylistic things. I mean, hey, that's pretty good. Not gonna lie. But generally speaking, let's say I usually think like if the hands were to come out, right? Like to be like make it as like proportionate as possible. Like stand up and see where your arms length are. Usually they're like the tip of your fingers, right? Your hands should be not exactly to your, it should be like your upper thigh, and it should be like maybe one hand length away from your knee. Rough give or take. No, not exact. But but you could think about like this top part, and where the inner part of the elbow should be where your belly button is, generally speaking. And you want some space in between too. That's another thing too. When you're doing pose or whatnot, this has to do with general composition, I should say. If you having two tight hands like this is kind of, I want to say unnatural, but you can make it look better if you add a little bit of space. Just like you have, I don't know, let's say you have several different masses, right? You have this, you have a mass like this, really close to each other. That seems a little unnatural. You're like, oh, this doesn't look good. You know, what makes it a little bit more comfortable is if you overlap one and create space in the other. Ah, oh, feel a little bit more relaxed. So, maybe let's say if you're to do it like this pose, having it pushed out more and having space in between. Let's say this is the arm, having some space in between. Again, you don't always have to do that, but that's like something to think about. Think about this. Think about this when it comes to drawing things. So this being tight, that's fine, but you have to think about like composition. I mean, again, depending on what you're trying to do, right? But anyways, I would probably elongate this, make these two parts longer. Yeah, make these two parts longer. And then if you think about it, right? If you think about wearing your elbows are a lot they're gonna go out more instead of in when you're wearing a backpack. Or it's gonna naturally flare out a little bit, right? Like imagine you doing like becoming a chicken, right? Going inward is really uncomfortable. You have to really squeeze, which you can do. You can do, but these have to be a lot longer compared to if they're out, they have to be a little bit more flared out and it's a little bit more relaxed. Again, depends on how your character is. But if they're going tighter, their whole body should be a little bit tighter to show that they're scared, right? If they're afraid. So what I mean by that, like I'll do kind of do really quick. Um their head position should be a little bit let's say a little bit tighter. Let's say um I don't know, something like this. So just from like kind of like the position, they're kind of like scrunched, like a spring, right? How you compress a spring, like a spring, how it could be really spread out or it could be super compressed, like you're really pushing it. So like if it's like a nervous character, you have to think about it. If they're nervous, they're scared, what are they gonna do? They're gonna scrunch up. They're trying to like protect themselves. So their position should do that, meaning that their neck is a lot closer or it's perceived to be a lot closer. They want to scrunch in. Again, you have to think about like the character's personality. If you want them to be more relaxed, it should be the feet should be a lot wider, a little bit more stable. The arms should flare out a little bit more because it's a more relaxed look compared to being scrunched up. Technically, yeah. Like, yeah, you should be a little bit higher to show. I'm just like exaggerating. So for the shy character, try to kind of think about that as well. I want her to be dominant. Okay, then you have to have her be relaxed. Another thing you could think about is camera angles, right? Is having her, you know, kind of looking down at you, kind of, you know, more confident pose, more relaxed, more confident, you know. as an example, you don't have to do this pose, but yeah, but something like this. Again, I'm not drawing everything, but you kind of see the difference, right? They're a little bit more open, they're domineering, they're in like a power pose. And that's where you could start thinking about shapes as well, or in terms of like silhouettes, right? Like a triangle, square, and circle. Things like that. I mean I mean that's like it gets very, very theory heavy, but yeah, a PLSE is coming into my mind. Or no, I'm saying like these are things. I'm not saying that your drawing is bad, but these things will again, these are really small things, Aldo. But once you start adding these really small details, it really it brings life to your character. It's not um it's not just like, oh, draw a pretty anime character. It's about like adding these small little things to make them feel real. The pose, yeah. The pose, yeah. You could definitely think of like different poses to really um present her. The hidden stockings thing, I think that's fine. Now let's say we're talking about clothing, right? Oh, hold on, I'm gonna get rid of all of this. Um, with clothing, right? You have to think. So if she's confident, she has to. I mean, I guess with the clothing, it should add to that, right? If you want her to be dominant, if you want her to be confident, her clothing should show that, and how she wears her clothes too. So having something like this is a little bit more conservative, right? Not saying that's a terrible thing. You could be confident and conservative in terms of like the things that you're wearing. Um, you could definitely have her in a one piece. I think that's fine. Like this. Then maybe I think I'm trying to think. I think you need to add something else to bring out her personality a little bit more, Roar, hello, welcome to the stream, Hana Alien. Welcome. I am giving my thoughts and critiques to this drawing. There's two drawings actually. But anyways, welcome. It's Noel. Oh, welcome, Noel. It's been a while. Welcome. Yeah, I need to revise her clothes, but her backstory doesn't say it. Yeah. I mean, you don't have to necessarily say like the story or whatnot. Um, but let's say like a One Piece, right? Um, I think One Pieces are fine. It's just to convey a confident or domineering person wearing a One Piece. I think it needs something else, to add to it. Not saying it's bad. And Nati, welcome. You have become a great teacher. What do you mean a great teacher? I'm just giving some pointers here and there. Okay, I'm not a teacher person. Okay. But let's see. Oh, it's slowing because typically, with clothing, it's about contrast, right? Or like there's general rules of thumbs when it comes to fashion. Is like typically you never want tight and tight unless you're trying to do a superhero or you're trying to do contours or whatnot. But typically you see a combination of baggy and tight. If you think about it, right? If you really, really think about it, makes sense. Whether it's the top or the bottom or both. Or again, it's really dependent too. Also, you have to think about general silhouettes, right? Your drawing has improved. This is not my drawing. Let's see, nerdy voice. No, this is not my drawing, okay? But I can see you're giving some good points. Oh, thanks, man. I try, man. Because yeah, you want to think about general silhouette as well, Aldo, in terms of her clothing. Oh, great, Ibukize. Hey, whoa, relax. Where do you buy those gloves? If you can't tell me, I'll find your address and fly across England to where you live to take them. This is just you can just Google like art sleeve or whatever. Literally, it's like super cheap. You can buy whatever. It doesn't matter. So, for instance, Aldo, I think what you could do is maybe I don't know. This is an idea. You don't have to take it. Maybe you could have it like a two-piece, right? I know, like have shorts right here. Maybe something I don't know, something short like this. You can I think separating these two, maybe hell. You know what? You could show her navel. Have this part kind of baggy. Have this kind of tight around this area. Maybe have some longer pants, a little bit longer, and then you could show her thighs. Show a little bit of skin, maybe. Um, or if you want to keep the one piece, um, man, because it's kind of boring. I'm not gonna lie. Like if you think of like the very typical like witch attire, I it's kind of like that, and it's very bland, which is not a bad. Honestly, you can make it work. I do think that you would have to convey this part a little bit better in terms of certain folds that you do. Hi Zod, welcome. Come to no. This is not my drawing. Zod, this is not my effing drawing. Okay. Holy shit. My mom found out I drew Strum 11 months ago. Yes, random stuff at random times. Of course. No. This is not my drawing. See my drawing. This is what my drawings look like. This is what my drawings look like, man. Yeah, this is my drawings. This is my drawings, odd. Okay, fine. If you really want to see, I could show you Zod. I'll show you old drawing. This is an old drawing. I did this one. How long? I did this one 5 months ago. Drawing on the side. What side? He's a pro. Not a pro. What the fuck? Are you talking the thing on the bottom? Oh yeah, that's from it's a meme. Yeah, it's not even fully finished. I just stopped. He's a good feedbacker too. I could teach stuff. Hey, look, there's my notes on stuff. Anyways, what is it gonna say? Oh yeah, although I would say in clothing, trying to make it more, I think, I guess you could say more accurate or a little bit more interesting. So maybe have these sides a little bit. So you know, with the human body, right? You have the navel like right here. Then you're gonna, or you're gonna have this little fat pad between the insides, or this is where you're like your ribs are gonna be, right? These attached there, and then you're gonna have this little part right here. I forgot what it's called. And you're showing that right here, which is fine. But if this is going to be a point of what we call like tension, right? Tension, you could really show that, adding more things. Yeah, I know. And yeah, I feel like you should definitely study how clothes work, because this is kind of weird having these. Think of tension points. I don't know if you have these two tension. I mean, you can have this, but you're adding another point right here. Or if you're using like baby folds, or maybe you're trying to have this carry over. I know. It's just that you can't just think of like clothes just covering the body. You have to think about the clothing to enhance the features of your character. So, I mean, technically, I would recommend, draw her nude, then draw clothing on top of it. And then depending on how her body presents, drawing clothes that folds around it, but also accenting her body parts, trying to make her look good in that. Because clothing isn't just simply cover the body. It's supposed to make us look good. Even with the boring clothing, if it accentuates certain parts of your character, whether it's driving the story or anatomy or whatever, it should elevate it, right? So definitely I would say I would recommend, draw her without clothing, figure out the proportions and whatnot, and kind of focus on what things you want um people to really notice about your character. Yeah, and doing it while you do homework. Yeah. When I started, I randomly put on cross screen that was relevant to how it looked in an actual person and wore it. So I could look at it and I knew what I was doing. Yeah. When working with clothing, don't worry about wrinkles or creases. Creases less wrinkles. Just randomly is not very effective. You should only worry about like very few things, because again, our bodies, our eyes, how it works is we don't need the full information. We don't have to color in every single little thing. we could do a lot of things to use suggestion. You know, there's like so many examples. I'm really bad at them, but you know. Goodbye. Close studies? Yeah, I'm doing close studies. I mean, that's why I could speak about it. Close studies, per se. Also, this arm is kind of weird. That's besides the point. Anyways, yeah, I would say figure more information about your character first. Does she has the Onesan type of hair? I think hair is fine. I think that's fine. I think it's okay. Perspective glasses is fine. Remember how glasses are supposed to see at the ridge of the nose as well? So you probably want to shift the glasses a little bit more this way. If this is where the ridge is, yeah, just you need to shift the glasses a little bit to the right to make it more like aligned with perspective. Just a little bit. Again, it's really nitpicky. Really, really nitpicky. But yeah. Yeah, there you go. I don't know, like just a few things. Few things. Makes sense? Yeah. Questions, concerns about this one? If not, I'm gonna move on. There's some general advice on that one. Okay. This one. And then you try to do very perspective. Okay, let's see. So let's say you're saying this is the midline. Midline. Same same thing. If you're gonna have your mouth like this, if you're making this the midline like this, again, your mouth and chin has to be aligned, right? So if you're gonna have your mouth this way, you should have your chin like a little bit right here, if that makes sense. Or if you're gonna go with this, then you should move your mouth this way a little. So let's say I'm gonna make it more aligned. Let's say you move this like right here, just like that. Maybe a little bit more. A little bit more. I think like something like this, or just a bit more maybe. Let's see how that small difference, like it's kind of this small little detail, but it's like again to make it where like everything's more like consistent. So maybe having this kind of like this down just a little bit, rotating this maybe a little bit more. Now having this more aligned, right? Let's say like this. Yeah, having that more aligned. Because how I think about it is like there's this block right here. When you're thinking about like everything, wherever this part is where your nose, your mouth, and your chin should be located. It looks more natural this way. Again, when you're doing anime and whatnot, of course you could push some things here and there, obviously, to stylize it, but you don't want to scurry too much, or else it's gonna look odd. Again, same thing I was talking about earlier. If you're gonna curve this a lot, then eyebrow should follow. Eyebrow should follow a little bit more of a curvature, because again, you have it like this, but you have your eyes like this, or have your eyes like that. Looks a little odd. So maybe putting this down just a little bit. Okay. Another thing. Yeah, your neck position is kind of off too, in terms of anatomy. Yeah, I have it kind of like this. You shouldn't be seeing this much. This part should be pushed inward, because you're seeing that if you're leaning back, right? This back part should be more back, or more arched. Or yeah. It should be pushed back. Because think about it. If this is really forward, right? Same thing. Then this should be backwards like this. It should be aligned. Because if you're saying this pulls like this too, this shouldn't not be like this should be hiding behind your back like this. Because this is the focal point, right? I mean, I'll think about it like on your own body too. If you have your shoulders, if this shoulder is coming out this way, this one should go to the back. And then that's how our body naturally twists. So this should be back. So yeah, this shoulder should be more back. It should be hidden. And then with this being hidden, this also should be hidden too. Also, in terms of perspective, right? This is way too far. Like this should be hidden. This should be hidden. Again, it should be behind her head. And then this should be a lot closer. Even though it's far, it should be close. And there's several things that you could help with that help present that. Number one is lessening the details. Of course, yes, like details make a difference, but it's like when something's when something's really far away, right? What happens? Two things happens. It becomes less detailed. And number two, it becomes lighter. So what you could do, maybe, or one thing to help with this is you could get this and lessen it, right? Let's say, oh, I can't do it. But like, yeah, make this part like lighter, right? To show that it's farther. And it has to do with line weight. So when things are farther, line weight. This is pretty much it's pretty much this principle, right? This is really forward. You could tell by how bold it is. And then something farther away, you make it really light. And it gives that perception. It gives that perception, right? Darker, bolder in front, lighter in the back. Another thing that could help is actually creating space. Because how it looks for me, like these are connected, right? But connected. But what you could do is add a little bit of space right here. And again, it gives that perception. Those two things added together, our brains will automatically fill that in. Um, um, does that make sense? So making it lighter, number one, and number two is adding a little bit of space, a little bit of space, because our brains, it'll when it's far away, it will fill that information. But also, it gives the perception, even greater perception, that it's farther away, without doing all this jazz. Because again, this whole thing should be closer. And again, I think one of the reasons why you elongated this is so you can make it like perceived as far. Definitely yes, but if if you elongate it too much, it looks off, right? So I'm telling you these things to add the add the perception that something is farther away without trying to make it super long. A few small little like tricks to make it feel far away. Okay, let's see. So let's say this is the midline. Um, if she's doing something like this is odd. If her back is like this, let's say her navel's like here, the back arching like this is kind of odd. Also, this booba too as well. It looks a little stiff. Let's see, she's going back. This should be more inward, a little bit, just a little bit. And this one should be pushed out a little bit more. Yeah, this should be inward a little bit, and this should be a little bit more outward. A little bit more like outward. I can't draw it really well. Yeah. And yeah, this part should be more like this. More like this. This portion shouldn't show as much. Yeah, this portion, which is the lats. With how she is, you shouldn't really see it. Or this perspective. So you should be a little bit smaller. A little bit smaller. Uh, okay, I think I know you're trying to do with these folds. One thing that could help with this is adding a turning curve. So you have this, right? Mm, I'll do it different color. I'll do it with a pen. Like what could help you with this, right? Adding turning curves like this. Perception. Because it's hard to tell. So when you add those turning curves, again, just a little, just a little few things here. Again, it gives a little bit more perspective now. Or you're pushing the folds in the sense that you're now seeing there's now more separation. Again, it's a really small detail, but it adds so much. Just small few things. You kind of see the difference, Aldo. Again, just adding a turning a turning line. Again, I do talk about this. Like you have a cylinder to really show that it's turning. You add a little thing right here. turning curve or turning line or whatever they call it. Like this, it just adds to it. Yeah. So I would say recommend that for this area. Same thing with here. Just a few again, just like 2 lines, 2-3 lines, darken it a little where it's turning over. And it gives that perspective. It has that separation, but gives you a little bit more perspective as well. So it makes the clothes tangible, more believable. And then here I guess as well. Since let's see, let's go back to this brush. Since it's going this way, the hair should follow as well. I feel like this perspective, maybe this this one I think should be behind her face, and then give a little bit more with gravity, because if you're looking up, right, your hair will like should follow gravity, right? So I feel like, yeah, her hair drooping, this part being like her cheeks covering this would be a little bit more believable. I think this part's being crushed by poles, I think is fine. But yeah, those are general information. Hi Chan, thanks for the raid, man. Wah, hey M4, why are you here? Why are you on Twitch now? Have you officially made a Twitch? Have you officially made a Twitch? Have you come to the dark side? Oh god. Hey Deep, welcome. We're back. Hey Diva, welcome back. Welcome Raiders. Hope you enjoyed Chan's stream. Sorry, the quality of information and the drawings are gonna drop off significantly. So I'm so sorry. We were in Chan's stream. Well, yeah. No, I saw Chan on Twitch. Didn't know. I'll go to YouTube now. Oh my god. I'm on both, man. Your art is really good. This is not mine. This is literally not mine. Chan, this is not my art. This is Aldo's. This is Aldo's art. I'm just giving him feedback. I'm just giving him general feedback because he just wanted it. Yeah. My art is still crappy. I was just giving him things to look out for. You're giving feedback now? Wow. I mean, he asked for feedback, okay? If you ask for feedback, I will give it. This is the other one. Anyways. He's a pro feedbacker. Oh my gosh, I don't know about that one. Oh, can you give me feedback also, Chan? Oh my gosh. Bro, you're a pro. What do you mean give you feedback? I mean, yeah, sure, I guess. But like still, like, listen, Chan, you draw like 10,000 hours a day compared to me. Like Ebu imagine blocks in perspective. What? Blocks in perspective? What do you mean? Okay, Chan, what do you want feedback on? Send me something. I'll give you quote unquote feedback. In back of his mind, he's like, oh yeah. Oh my gosh, Deep. Dude, literally, that's the thing that sets Diva off. Perspective, where? Chan is requesting you to feed him. No, 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 no. He didn't say feed him. He wants feedback. Two different things. Two completely different things. Two completely different things. Very, very. I'll send 2020 of my art, lol. Oh, okay. Alrighty. I bet he's gonna either agree or disagree with my feedback, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Feed him back. Damn rude. What? What? Oh yeah, chat. Feed his back. Back shots? What? I'm kidding. We're not. Look what I got. I got a I got an art book. Another one. So this is illustration. So illustration comes out there is one for each year. Um I don't know how much I could show of this on stream. But yeah, there's some like cool artists here that probably y'all some of y'all know of. But this is a great way to see new artists. They all use Twitter or Instagram or both. They all have different styles, which is cool. And then there's commentary too. It's all in Japanese. But yeah. They release one each year. I don't know when they started, but I know it's been going on for a while. Yeah, I'll be in 2029 maybe. Yeah. I sent in Discord. Okay. Don't go too deep in like last time. Shut the fudge up, deep. I know what you're. Feed me? What do you mean feed you? Okay. Ideas feedback. Give me feedback, pro artist. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna show it on stream. Okay, let's see. What do you want me to give you feedback on? Everything? Just the girl character, the guy character? What specifically? Literally, it's gonna be like similar information. Similar-ish information-ish. Maybe girl. Okay, just the girl. Although, relax. Holy crap. Relax, although. I don't know if I want to do everything. Oh my gosh, freaking Aldo. Okay, I'll do the girl first, and then I'll go right to left. Okay. Let's talk about general composition first. I'll go big to small, big to small. First things first. I think this is supposed to be a train or whatnot. Train, right? So they're sitting. Let's say they're sitting, I guess. Sitting. Maybe the chair. I feel like, depending on the perspective, maybe the seat should be a little bit. I mean, you kind of have it there. I think it's supposed to be a car. Maybe a little bit more coherency. I mean, Doki Doki. What do you want? Car. Mansion. I don't know. Maybe it's a train. It's kind of hard to tell. One thing I would recommend, right? In terms of compositions, you know, there's general rules for composition. You could imply, or you could utilize what? Rule of threes, right? Rule of threes. So, like, Green Lantern bus looks like a bus. Oh, yeah. Bus. Okay, okay. Well, yeah. Composition wise, I would recommend using the rule of threes because these 3 points will be Your Highness. I mean, I'm not a king. Go, you go effing leave. Okay. Well, that's a car in what? Okay, chat. Relax, relax. Okay, relax. Okay, you don't have to. You don't have to go so effing hard about it. Okay. So usually in compositions, there's like several different rules for coherency, whatever, blah blah blah. Okay. So one thing I would recommend, maybe you could have this character a little bit more where her body is centered in this third right here, and maybe since you do want to create space in between these characters, or else it's going to be super cluttered. So I think that's fine. But definitely, I feel like you should have brought the character a little bit more this way. This is fine. Or maybe you could have him a little bit more this way. I guess it really depends how you want to do that. But I think, yeah. Bringing her a little bit more toward this center line, I think, or this third would have made this a little bit more interesting or a little bit more coherent. Isn't again, it's not always the case, but something to think about in terms of composition. Uh, okay. That's first things. Okay. Now I'll talk about the girl. Again, with where the noses, mouth, chin. Feel like chin could be a little bit more this way. Because typically, you have the brow ridge right here. You could have the center line. And nose is a little bit more to this way. It could be stylized as well. But again, fudge. I feel like I'm repeating myself. Let's say this is the face, right? Okay, brow ridge, nose, or if you can see nose, let's say mouth, whatever, cheekbones, making it super simplified, whatever. With the horse, with the horse, with the horse. Damn. Okay. Goddamn, a horse. But anyways, mouth, and then there's chin. Chin. Stop it. We're not gonna talk about Umas, bro. Horse carriage. It's a brow ridge, whatever. General face. General face. So the reason why I bring this up is typically where the position of your nose, your mouth, and your chin should be fairly aligned. Generally speaking, of course, you could contort these a little bit, especially when you're doing something a little bit more cartoony or a little bit more fluid. You can mess around a little bit more with this. But even like good cartoonists, let's say you're drawing, I don't know, let's say someone with a wider face, let's say like this. Let's say they have, they got rectangular eyes like this. In animation, they still stick with this Western anime. They and or cartoons, I should say, they still think about this part. Of course, they might have a big nose and then like a smaller mouth, maybe, and they're and like the chin, maybe around chin. But again, they're still thinking of that area or that that consistency within that like box or that rectangle or whatever. So same thing with like faces as well. Depending on how you place the nose, let's say you have the nose this way, mouth should follow and the chin. So I feel like chin should have been a little bit more in, and then with the eyes as well. Let's say you were going to do this angle. I believe that this eye should be pushed in just a little bit more inward. Because remember, if you see more side of this face, this side should not, you're not presenting as much. So they should be pushed in a little bit more. Just a tad bit. I think this part, I mean, again, it depends on how young the character is as well. If they're fairly young, of course, their cheekbones are going to be, they're going to have fatter cheeks. So I think that's fine. It really depends. In terms of, let's see, hair. I think hair volume is okay. Again, depends on how young the character is. If they're younger, of course, I want to be fairly like equal in terms of where the forehead is and the hair or the proportions. If they're older, you should of course have a longer face. She is Jake, you see? Joskose. I think in terms of volume of the hair, in perspective of her head, I think it's fine. I think it's okay. It's not the end of the world. Josko Kyugakse. Oh, Chugakse. Ah. I see, I see. I think that's fine. Okay. So since I've been talking about like that face concept, yeah, I feel like the nose should be a little bit more this way. I mean, it really depends on what thing. Either you could move the nose, I mean, the nose and mouth this way, or you have to decrease. Yeah, have to be one or the other. Either you cut off this part and make the eyes a little bit more perspective, or you move them more as where it's more centered. It really depends on like what angle. Again, I'm not saying absolutes because I don't know like what the like initial intentionality is. Either or could work. There's multiple ways you could fix this. I guess it really depends on the body as well. I mean, see, this is center. Let's say this is center. Let's see. Yeah, if this is the center, you're gonna say this is the center. Yeah, oof. Yeah, this part of the leg should be more this way. It should be more toward because of how the center line is. Because if you look at it, right? It if you just look at this part and this part separately, it's whatever. But when you actually look at it as a whole, you could feel that this is way too squished in this way. She's from JC staff, I see. Bruh. JC staff. So you definitely need to add more space to this. So what you could do is probably bring this a little bit forward and make this a little bit bigger in terms of like perspective, making it bigger. Because how the midline is drawn, right? It's like it's right here, and then it's like the next midline is like right here, which makes no sense. Right here. So definitely have to think about the midline. Midline, and yeah, the fix is we can increase this and have it a little bit more forward. And then again, it's hard to say specifically with the arm. Arm seems a little too long for a Joskose. But with how everything's positioned, this arm is like fairly long. Fairly long. Yeah. How do you draw balls? You draw 2 circles and add some hella shading. Yeah, especially this part, this forearm seems really long. You should probably shorten, yeah, you should probably shorten this portion. Unless again you're trying to make it really stylistic, you're trying to make it like a Shaft character. Or no. Uh if you remember XX Holic, like the characters are really tall and lengthy, like super tall and lengthy. Like they're literally stick people. If you were going for that, I mean, again, that's a stylistic choice, which is fine. It's just that everything else needs to be matching that. But because of you're telling me how they're a Josko Yugakse or JC or whatever, their arm shouldn't be this long. So it should be shorter. And then this hand is too wide. This space right here, it should be a little bit more, like this part should be, yeah, this should be a little bit inward. This volume is fine. But yeah, I feel like this hand is a little bit too wide for this character with her proportions. I feel like it should be a little bit more scrunched together. So probably, yeah, adjusting this inward just a little bit, not too much. I'm not gonna talk about fingers too much. Another thing it's hard to tell with this, but I could say, damn, I like this skirt though. I'll get to the skirt. I'll get to the skirt. Let me do this thing first. So, general rule of thumb when you are drawing knees and feet, they should be in the same direction. Wherever your knee is pointing, your foot should as well. And you can look at your foot. When you're sitting like this, right? Your knees will follow. If your foot is like this, your knees will also follow. Because that's how our anatomy is. So, if this is pointing upward, this should also be pointing upward. And yeah, this is kind of off. I think how you drawn this feels like it's how the feet is. It's not exactly that direction. I feel like it's a little too up. Let's say your feet is this. I feel like how this foot is anchored is it's like almost the same direction. I feel like you need to rotate this foot a little bit to this direction. And then also the perspective of this too. And a good rule of thumb, it's not the best, but general good of thumb, rule of thumb. Let's say you have a line, right? And you divide it into 3 equal parts. Yeah. feet, I usually divide it into 3. Again, you don't have to use this, but this is generally what I do. And then the toes are extra. Toes are going to be 1 length extra or whatever. And you could think about, again, depending on how you have your foot. Yeah, whatever your direction of your elbow, always think about where your feet is. And since it's going up like this, technically, I should have it curved up, kind of upward. So have your toes kind of like this, kind of up, kind of like this. Of course, I would have to make adjustments or whatever. Yeah, whatever your directions, whatever the direction of this is, your feet should follow, generally speaking. So keep that in mind. Uh, what else do I need to talk about? Yeah, ankles. I won't worry about the ankles too much. It's getting super in detail. I won't worry about that. Okay. So I talked about feet. Okay, let me talk about clothing next. Um, I know you like the skirts. I think this skirt looks good. One thing I would recommend when it comes to skirts is adding a turn shadow, or like adding a little bit more detail to really add to it. So for instance, let's say make it a little bit darker. Like this area, just a little bit. Like you have to differentiate, and you could do that by adding like drop shadows. And again, it doesn't have to be too crazy as well. Yeah, see, you already kind of did it right here with a line, but you know, making a little bit more apparent. Again, you don't have to be super crazy about it. Right here, you should add more of a turn as well. Like anything that's turning, you should definitely add. What do we call? I call it turning edge, right? You have like a cylinder, right? Okay, I can't effing draw a proper cylinder. But like adding a turning edge, kind of like this. Something that tells us like, oh, it's going around. So I think adding those, of course, you get more detailed right here, which is fine. But I feel it adds some realism to it, which is fine. But one thing that you do really well is the concept of turning around. Like this is turning, and how you do that you do it well is that you have these, right? You have these. Oh, let me use different color. You have these kind of spaced out, and then you have these when it goes around closer together, which it gives the perspective that something is turning, which is good. However, what you should have done to really bring this out more is have if this is the center, let's say this is going to be the main focus right here, having it progressive. Because if you look here, these are all different lengths. Again, it's fine. But to really add, these parts should be a little bit shorter. If you say this is the center line, it should be the widest right here, and it should get shorter. These, I think, are a little bit too close together for this portion. I think it should have been progressive, if that makes sense, right? It's kind of like, let's go here. Draw a bigger one. Like there's more space in between, a little bit less. And then once you get like closer, the lines get closer together. Or the lines get closer when you go farther back. And I think you should have done the same thing on this aspect to really give the effect that it's going around, because this feels flat. Because if you feel that, oh, it's turning this area, you feel it turning, but right here it feels flat. This portion feels flat, and it's because, again, the sizes aren't, I mean, it is changing, but it's like small big, small big. It's not like big, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller, a little bit smaller. And again, giving that perspective of it going around. Same thing right here. So adding a little bit. And then another thing, this makes no sense in terms of how the clothes is folding. Again, like if we're thinking about anatomy, let's say her arms are like, should technically her arms be like this. It should be a little bit more inward. And then you have to think about tension points on the clothing. Like let's say this is a tension point. I mean, you have it like this. Because this is confusing, because you're saying, let's say this is a tension point, these are kind of pulling this way. I mean, you should have a little bit more. Also, like, what is this? Like, what is this supposed to be like? It's like this makes it a little bit confusing. Like this is throwing me off, and then this fold right here, because how this, let's say you're trying to make this like more dimensional, I guess. Or let's say you're trying to do what we call a zigzag, which is this. Zigzag folds. I'm just drawing it on this, whatever. Zigzag folds. Thing with zigzag folds, to make it like good, is you need to, know where the shadows are going to be. They're called zigzags because the way that everything goes is in zigzags. And you see these on like folds and clothing. So like, I don't know what this is. I think you're trying to do it. If you are, fully commit. If you're gonna do it here, and then you have to have another one like this, like the triangle on the other side. The tension points right here, that's fine with this. That makes sense. This is stretching out, but you have to think about the nipples. I know it's weird, but nipples are a thing of tension points, and to help help creases and whatnot on clothing, you have to think about the nipple lines. Nipple lines actually do matter to make it more believable. If this is what it'll be, is this gonna be turnaround? I'm not sure. Okay, I'm bored. You know what I mean. What else is there? But yeah, like the big thing is you shouldn't be adding creases just for the hell of it, right? You should think about the functionality. Well, what is the clothes doing? And of course, I I freaking here's my notes about clothing. Oh, we'll have a whole effing section about effing clothing and all this. You know, the biggest thing when drawing is drawing structures. What are things that builds onto it? Like, yeah, which is like the baby folds. You have half locks. You have drop folds. You have all these different things that helps in terms of, oh, this is how things fold. You shouldn't be worried about wrinkles like ever when you're talking about drawing. And then, you know, drawing different things like seams, buttons, clamps, pockets, cuffs, these small little details that adds, you should draw those. Creases, you shouldn't draw. Again, because all these things will add enough information for our brain to understand what is happening. Adding just random wrinkles is just busy. It makes it busy, which you kind of don't want to do. I mean, you can if you want to. I mean, it just depends on what you're going for. But I think for something like this, you shouldn't add creases willy-nilly. You should understand why you're doing it. Like this. Are they trying to like have this like push out forward? That's fine. It's fine, but I think this part, if you're gonna make it poofy, have it a little bit more up front and have it descending. Same with this. This right here makes no sense. To me at least. Or if you're gonna do this, add a little bit more volume right here. Because this is way too high. I feel like how you draw like these portions, I mean, it can work depending on how it's like stretched or whatnot, but this is compensating way too much. It shouldn't be this high in terms of the type of clothing that she's wearing. And then yeah, same thing, making to add, as I say, turning the turning line or whatever to show what things are coming forward, what things are going back. Very important. Um okay. I mean there's more things, but generally what I recommend for the girl. The guy, um it's like the same ideas that I talked about earlier. It's the same things. So let's say like this guy's centers right here. The mouth should be a little bit more outward, like here. Chin, I think, is fine. Position of ears is fine. The eyes, depending on how the nose is, the eyes can be a little bit more forward. But again, this should be dependent on the body, and the body is not in line with it. That's why it looks odd. So, for instance, this shoulder, for how the neck and how they're positioned, this is a little bit too much outward. Of course, yes, guys, they're going to be more square. But how let's say you're gonna, I don't know, draw like this. It's odd. I haven't learned about suits, but typically when someone is wearing a suit, the whole purpose is to not is kind of like make the guy like this. Generally speaking. And a good tailor suit, it tries to embody this body type. And depending on what your body looks like, it will make adjustments so you get this general, or I mean, the shoulders are a little bit too wide, maybe a little less. That's generally talking about suits. Again, I haven't learned how to draw suits yet, so there's gonna be a lapse of information. But generally speaking, this looks odd. So this part should be a little bit inward, just a little bit, just because the socket is really out. It's like your shoulders are really, really out. And now, and if you were to do that, if if you're going to have your socket moving forward, you should be seeing more of your arm come out. So it's either you have it this position and this pushed in, or if you want to have this out, um the elbow should be flared out a little bit more. It should be rotated this way a little. It's if that makes sense. Because imagine you're extending your arm, right? You're extending the ball socket to come out without extending your elbow. If you put your elbow in still, it's going to be this should be lifted like this kind of. If you're gonna have it like this out, it should be more. Your elbow shouldn't be so close to your body, if that makes sense. If you think about try it. Have your arm, like the socket of your arm, come out, keeping your elbows bent. Is going to flare out. It's not gonna stay close to you. If it does, well, what's gonna happen? You're gonna feel this go back if you're going upwards like this. So you have to choose. You have to choose one or the other. What are you trying to have your character do? Because depending on what exactly they're doing, it will change how you draw it. If that makes sense. Again, when I'm telling people or like corrections or whatnot, I don't know exactly what they're doing, so I'm giving both solutions. Oh, if your character is doing this, do this. If your character is doing this, do this instead. Because I don't know what they're doing. Or like what exact motion. Maybe you're saying to like, oh yeah, they're trying to extend their hand out. If you're gonna extend their hand out, right? This should be, or if it's going to be extended, what happens? Think of it's going in opposite directions. Your hands come out, goes forward, and your shoulder stays in. And then if it's gonna extend outward a little bit more as well. So if you were going to do that, you should have this extended outward, but then maybe have it a little bit more inward as well. But again, it just depends on like what position and whatnot. I can't really give specifics unless you give me specifics. But anyways, um, that's that portion. And also, if you have the hand out like this, um, your elbow needs to follow. Your elbow needs to, or you have to think about like where your ulna is, right? How your hand is. Yes, typically, let's say I like to do my arms like this. Super simple. Because this is the elbow. Or depending on how it's open as well. Because think about your elbow, right? Of course, there's this motion, and your elbow still like generally stays the same. But typically, what I'm thinking about is this hinge, right? This hinge depends on where this elbow is. So I'm thinking, where is this hinge going to be? So depending on where the arm is how is where I'm gonna have my elbow, or like show this portion. So if it's it could be behind, it could be hiding. It just depends. But that's something to think about. Even though it's not shown, that is something you should be thinking about when drawing. Okay. So, okay. Now the hand. The hand is really dependent on how long the arm is. Because I general rule of thumb is whatever length your arms is, should be the same length as your wrist. These should be the same. And then, of course, you're going to have your hands. You're going to have your hands depending on freaking what length you have, everything. Whatever. But generally speaking, think about that. Connection wise. I like to divide my hand into two. I feel like these hands are a little too wide. Maybe that you could shrink this a little. I mean, people could have fat hands too. A little bit. This right here looks a little unnatural. Maybe adding a little bit more curve, having it maybe go inward, maybe. Again, I like to think about thumbs like this. A circle in between. Which you have that structure. Depending. Yeah, this hand though. Oh, yeah, either have this go a little bit more inward. Let's say because they're doing this, right? They're doing this. Because if you're gonna have your hands extended like this and have it like you're saying, oh my, like my, like this, kind of. I think the thumb is too hyperextended in how it is. So I think it should be a little bit closer to the hand. And then it's really not great. Because with this knuckle right here, I mean, I'm gonna just draw it. You could think of it as like 3 different parts, I guess. Because you're trying to emphasize like the middle ridge, and it's not really showing that well. And it's hard. I mean, hands are hard to draw for a reason. But if you're making that middle part, you know, thinking about those fingers. And it's hard. I mean, especially you are wearing gloves, and I feel like you should have definitely add a little bit more creases here. Of course, it's gloves, but of course, creases will show up on gloves. And again, you don't have to like color it, just like a line, maybe a couple lines to like add a little bit more detail so you're understanding, or it makes the hands a little bit less odd, a little bit more believable. Like at least for like to show where the knuckles are. It's like the same thing I was drawing like toes. You look at this, you're like, what the hell is this? But then you draw the top of the toe, You draw this portion, you're like, oh, that's a toe. And then you could draw the toenail. Like this right here adds so much dimensionality. Your brain automatically understand what that is. It's like the same thing here. Just adding that small detail does so much. Again, it's really, really small things. Let's see. If you're gonna overlap these, definitely work on what do you call it? Line weight, darker, more front, dark, or darken it if it's farther, make it lighter, etc., etc. Also, are they floating? Are they? Are they floating? I just recognized. Nah, whatever. Same thing with the creases as well. Creases. This, I don't know. Need a little bit more context to see where the creases will be with this. And then again, drop shadows. Drop shadow, you don't understand how important drop shadows are to really bring things forward and backwards and blah blah blah. Oh, why don't music stop? Goddamn. So let's say this. I'll go a little bit darker. Like that. That brings this whole thing forward. Yes, I know it's like really simple, but adding drop shadows to separate things, oh my gosh, it makes a world of difference. Drop shadows. And also it brings separation. So when you're like doing values and whatnot, it helps make things more dimensional. Again, you don't have to go too crazy. Just think about when clothing. Like I don't know, have like a piece of clothing, but really adds to dimensionality is a drop shadow. Like this will bring this thing out. It pops. And that's what you're, trying to do. Separate with clothing at least. But yeah, those are my suggestions. I know it's not the best. I don't tell you exactly what to do. Like, oh, this is how you make, or I'm not like redrawing it exactly because I'm giving you options. He's like me for real, bro. Angels. Because I want to give you options depending on what you're doing. I give you multiple things, and I explain each thing. I'm teaching more like what the issue is, then I explain principles of how to solve it. Who's this getting a bachelor's in art for free? Question mark. I'm not. I'm not getting a bachelor's in art. Because yeah, technically, I mean, I can like redraw everything and whatnot. But again, I like If I were to do that, it would take a long time. Number two, I would have to draw like 2-3 separate things. If that makes sense. Is depending on what specific thing you're wanting to do or what your intentions are, it would change. What are we all discussing? We're talking about how to win the lottery. What to do with a lottery ticket. Yes. Oh, yes, of course. Chan, any questions you got? I don't know if he's even still here. What the fuck? My net is dying, bro. This guy. After taking a break, saw Chan stream Discord by accident, then blew in a few minutes later. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, are you? What the fudge is this? God damn it, Chan. You don't need it. You don't have to, bro. Thanks for feedback. It helps. Bruh. He probably are. Honestly, Chan, he probably knew all this. He probably knew all of that, bro. Yeah, obviously, I'd buy myself some hose and start garden far away from the city. Damn, a garden. What kind of garden? I'm thinking. Chan, don't forget to give Ibu a kiss. Hey, stop giving him ideas. Yeah, Chan, you probably knew like a majority amount of this information already. And this is from your drawing from 5 years ago. Oh man. No, I don't know anything. Shut the fudge up, Chan. Gosh, I don't know anything. Yeah. This is the one who has like a decade more experience in drawing than me. Like, hello, excuse me. Oh man. Oh. Any questions, concerns you have, Chan, about anything that they talked about? Holy flashbang. No questions, thank you. Yeah, yeah. Of course. Holy flashbang. I'm sorry, man. Damn. Damn, I don't know if I could do. I feel really tired, man. I have to do gesture drawings. And I have to do my effing homework. I have to do my effing homework, man. This is the last Sasuga Sensei Ibukize. I'm no. I am no sensei. Again, y'all draw way better than me. I think the only thing that I have or like on my side is just I can articulate stuff fairly well. Like if someone has an issue, I can articulate it in such a way that makes sense and easy to understand. And I guess it's like very applicable. Like I don't try to like teach you like, I wouldn't say useless stuff. I try to teach you very like palatable. I try to make it very palatable and applicable. Something that you could use like right now. Again, you could see some of the things that I do, and like it makes a difference. Like when I don't do the things, and then when I do the things. This is me drawing clothes. This was my homework last time. And I have other homework I have to do. Oh, I hate drawing. I hate drawing, man. Whoever created drawing is cringe. I honestly do say to you, chat, drawing was a mistake. I should have never gotten into art, man. All this hours, all this time, and I'm still crap. I'm still docky do. And I feel like I always complain. I feel like I always complain, man. You know what my excuse is? I complain because I care. It's like okay, like think about it like this. Let's say you have a computer, right? Or you have a game you really love. When something gets messed up or it's not exactly how you want, you like throw a fit, right? Because you care so much. But if you're like whatever, you don't really play that game, you change a whole bunch of stuff, you're like, I don't care. So like the more you care about something, the more anal you're about it. I feel like I'm like that with art, unfortunately. Watching hell, man. Okay, I guess I'll do gesture drawing. God damn. 2 hours? Okay, that's not terrible. Uh, let's see. Man, I hate doing gesture drawings, bro. Honestly, I should stop doing gesture drawings. Fuck. I hate doing gesture drawings, bro. I hate doing gesture drawings so much. And because I hate it so much, I should do it more. Terrible, man. Whoever thought of gesture drawings is a masochist. They're like, oh yeah, they should draw the same things, or they should draw certain gestures like a billion times, 1 second for each one, whatever, or make them suffer. Freaking whoop the effing do, bro. I mean, granted, I will say gesture drawing has helped me immensely, especially when it comes to poses. Even anatomy, it has helped me with anatomy as well, because you have to like observe something really quickly and then like draw it and then like cry. No, it's not placebo. Unfortunately, I wish it was a placebo, man. If I if it it does help. The science behind it is strong. Because if you think about it, right? With gesture drawings, you're trying to get like the general like gesture of the whole things in a very short period of time. So what that helps you do, that will help your brain analyze stuff fairly quickly. So you become a stronger observer over time. And number two, now when you're drawing, you're drawing the bare essentials, right? Like you're gonna think about the most important structures to draw to give the gesture, so people can look at it and understands what's happening. So that will help you in the long run because you're gonna think about that when you're drawing. What is the most essential things? But it's boring. Yes. Here is the thing. You know how you get good at something? You do the boring things. You do the boring things so effing much that your brain becomes extremely proficient. Because that's what our brain does. When we do something boring and arduous, doing it over and over again, very intentionally, our brains will get good at that thing, at that task. So, in order to get good, you need to do the same things, but in pure volumes, bruh. Like what I've seen in social media fairly decently is like people saying, "Oh yeah, you should draw things that you enjoy. You should like life is too short to be doing things that you don't like, blah blah blah, whatever." To an extent, I agree, but it depends what your goals are, right? What is your goals? Are you trying to get really good? Are you just wanting to draw things that you want to? Like that's really important because if you don't care, if you just want to draw what you want, sure. Definitely I would say go with that philosophy. But let's say you do want to get very, very proficient, very good. You want to make a living off of it. Depending on what specifics, you have to draw things that you don't want. Hell, if you want to make a living off of it, you definitely have to draw things that you don't want, that you sometimes don't want. You have to do what the client wants. So what the client wants and what you want isn't always going to be, you know, exact what you want. So yeah. And I complain as a coping mechanism. That's how I cope. That's how I cope with all the things that I hate drawing. I just complain. I complain on stream. You don't bore yourself too much. I think that's wears out your passion. No, I hate art. What do you mean? Oh yeah, I hate drawing, man. You don't understand how much I hate drawing. You know how I don't. You know how I don't get burnt out. You know how why I keep drawing is because in my mind, because the whole intentionality for me is to get better. It doesn't matter how I feel. I say screw my feelings. That's why I invest into systems. I don't draw based off a feeling. Man, that looks bad. Oh, not doing things in the first place? Well, facts. Um, I mean, in all honesty, the best way to prevent burnout is make sure everything else is good. Everything else in your life is decent. AKA, are you sleeping adequately? Like, are you sleeping well? Are you healthy? Just generally, like, are you exercising? Are you eating correctly? Those things will help. Just in general, you'll be less miserable. Just in general. It's also to change things up. Understand when you need to take a break. That doesn't mean you should not do it when you don't feel like it, but understanding when to take breaks. That's really important. You shouldn't always take a break when you don't feel like it. No, 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 no. That's like the worst thing to do. Let's see. Okay. Got that. And I totally agree with doing boring things, but it must be to some extent if it's bothering you too much and where your passions and you eventually quit. Passion is overrated. No. Again, if you want to get good, you have to you have to do it so effing much. Yeah, why do you think I'm doing effing gesture drawings all the effing time? I hate doing this. I'm being honest. Gesture drawings is so effing boring, and I truly hate doing it. I really despise it. But the reason why I do it is because the amount of art gains that I've got from doing gesture drawings is insane. It's essentially the same thing as I hate eating veggies, but it's so good for me, my gut health, etc., more energy, blah blah blah. Even though I still hate doing it, I do it because I see the benefits, and it is so great that I'm willing to do it. I mean, eventually you will get used to it. It's just that getting to that point of getting somewhat proficient or getting used to it, I mean, it takes a while. You're going to be miserable for a good while. And that's the thing that makes the difference between people who are proficient at things is how how willing are they to go? Because that's what we okay, you have to think about it like this. When people say they're extraordinary, they're incredible. They're going to do things that people think is insane. People think that is unbelievable. Things that they don't not the average person is able to do. You have to think about it like that. Again, it really depends on what your goal is. If you just want to have fun, if you just want to draw things here and there, yeah, go for it. If you want to improve and get really good, and if you want to do it at like a pretty fast rate, then you have to be willing to make sacrifices. Hell, like, like really, really good artists, they're like miserable people, bro. They literally give like everything for art, you know? For me, it's not worth it to get like that crazy. Of course, I still want to get good, but there's certain things I'm not willing to sacrifice. It's depending on like how much are you willing to give up to get really good. Oh, let's see. Fudge. What's that? Whatever. I have enough space for the head. Whatever. No, it's not overrated. I saw a person quit before just because I made them draw things that they never wanted to. It's exactly what I'm saying. If your goal is to get good as fast as possible and draw boring things, but if you want to take your time and not really get into it, you know. It really depends. Yeah. Yep. That's why I'm drawing all the effing time and I hate it. Again, the times that I truly have fun drawing is very far and few in between. Like actually. I do not know. Whoops. What should I add in my arc? Been thinking that since I joined the stream. What specifically? And for meant to say lol, it's just lol, lol. Same thing. Just mistyped. fudge. Whatever. But yeah, my approach is very it is not for everyone. Or how I'm approaching doing art. I'm very, very harsh on myself. I'm very systematic. I'm all about systems. But again, I'm trying to get as good as possible within a shorter period of time. Oh man. Oh, literally, I think what? Like a good amount of people just watch me just because they're like, ooh, I want to see how good this guy gets. I want to see this guy's progression just because of my mindset. Because essentially, my mindset is, oh, I'm gonna die with like it's similar as, oh, I'm gonna die within like 2 years. Oh, I want to get good at art. I only have 2 years to do it. Mother effer. Okay, I'm gonna do everything in my power to get good. Essentially. Um, funny that you say that. Funny that you say that. uh, yeah, my viewers are not like that. My viewers are a lot more chill. They're a lot more chill. Then again, they are way better than I am. Yeah, they're definitely not as hardcore as I am. Yeah, I don't think there's anyone that's as hardcore as I am. Sure, I'm flying. You'd be way better, I know for sure. I mean, yeah, definitely. I'd have effing way. I would have more time. But I'll say this: because I'm employed, because I have a job, the amount of time that I have is extremely valuable. That is why the what I do matters. Because if I'm just wasting my time just doodling whatever, right? Hell, I can make more money with that time and just commission someone to make something that I want, you know? If you really think about it, I could just pay someone to do it. It'd be more beneficial. Hell, technically, I could do that. Extend outwards. Watch this me out upwards. Commission them to do an art course from A to Z, lol. Bro, they would hate me. Bro. Oh my goodness. Yeah. In all honesty, I think if I were unemployed, and let's say if I thought art was my only way of to livelihood, yes, I would be immensely better. Now, if I were to be able to do arts and not it be my livelihood and be broke, I guess unemployed or whatnot, I don't think so. Because you have to think about it, is what is the driving factor to get good at art, right? If your livelihood depends on it, oh hell, oh bro, you don't understand how fast you want to get good. Or at least for me, like I'm very proficient at my job because again, my livelihood depends on it. I mean, also freaking I'm dealing with people's lives, their health in my hands. So, I mean, it's very stressful. I mean, damn, it is stressful. I mean, so I mean, yeah, if you think about like, if I do not do this thing really good, then I won't be alive. Again, you need to have that level of like stress. Of course, that makes things unenjoyable at times. But again, that could be an extremely good way to motivate yourself to get very good, very proficient, very fast. And again, I don't intend on making a living off of arts. My livelihood is not dependent on me drawing things. And yet here I am doing things like it does. Biggest difference is I'm drawing things that I want, or let me scratch it up. I'm doing a lot of the things that I don't want to right now in order to be able to draw the things that I want very well. But to get to that point, I have to do a lot of things that I don't want. Again, drawing just for drawings is one of them. Doing them a lot. Fudge, this is like not the best freaking reference, but whatever. It's really hard to tell what's going on. But yeah, I don't draw all the time. When I have free time, I don't always spend my free time drawing. Even though I try to draw like there's no tomorrow, I still take breaks. I know when I'm at my limits. That's probably another reason why, even though I have such intensity, I don't really get quote unquote burnt out, is because I listen to my body be like, okay, that's enough. All right. At this point, my I get no benefit, or like the amount of work and effort I am putting in is probably going to be worthless, so I am going to take a break. I think that's pretty important to know. Of course, brute force is very helpful. So, many points you do need brute force, but there's some other points you need finesse, and that takes time. You need to know yourself fairly well to know where that point is. Again, it's a fine balance. It's like the 85% rule? I forgot what it's called specifically. It's like you have to make things just challenging enough. If it's too challenging, your brain already gives up. If it's too easy, you disengage. So it's understanding that portion as well. Your perception. Your perception. I mean, technically, my livelihood depends on art, probably because I have no other artists, but I'm still chill. Yeah, you practice it 4 hours a day. I don't even do that, man. Damn. I mean, then again, I do work. So, I mean, but the days that I do say that I do have free time, whatnot, it's not necessarily 4 hours. Maybe like accounting for everything, yeah, you could say 4 hours. Yes, for me, again, I'm watching lectures. I am thinking about certain things. It's not like me primarily just drawing. Or if I'm like thumbnailing something and I'm walking through every single aspect of it. Um Hell, you can freaking ask M4. Some of the things that I do. Or the things that I do. It's kind of insane. Oh no, yeah. I force myself. Yeah, I force myself to draw. I don't draw because I feel like it. Again, me doing gesture drawings right now, I'm forcing myself to do gesture drawings. Hell, if if I if I wanted to draw things that I wanted to all the time, I'd be so much happier. Yet here I am not doing that. Yeah, I'm not at that point yet. I don't feel like I'm good enough to draw things that I want well enough. Therefore, I don't really draw things that I want very all the time. I draw things that will help me get there. Like I have a good amount of illustrations I have quote unquote planned out. But the reason why I haven't even attempted to do it is number one, whenever I attempt it, I want to make sure I'm at a skill set to do it, and I'm not yet at that skill set. Yeah, I still have 25 minutes of gesture drawings to do. God damn. But yeah, that's why again, I depend on systems. Be be as systematic as possible. So I could just churn, I could churn stuff. Oh man. Oh, fudge. This head is gonna be so god awful. Head placements, whatever. Move on. By the way, I like light arguing like I did back there. I think it's like discussing, but better. I learned a lot from these. Hopefully, you don't hate it when I do. Please tell if you do. I mean, I don't really care, man. Listen, if it brings actual value, I do not care. Now, if it becomes just if it becomes like ad hominem, then I'm like, okay, I'm banning you. Which is AKA just name calling. If you actually have some points and actually trying to make an argument, like a legit argument, I'm willing to humor it. Predator or something? Is it? No, I'm not sure. Mm, that's supposed to be a joke. All right, I'll shut up. Is it? Oh, didn't know. Let's see. Cookies. Let's see. Just letting you know. Jokes. I take everything seriously. So people's jokes usually they don't go through just because I take it to its logical conclusion, aka it ruins the joke. And that's just in general. That's just me. How to say I'm the fun police tutorial? What do you mean by that yet? Everyone does it from time to time, don't worry. Sure, it's everyone. Hi, Will. Welcome, welcome. Happy Turkey Day, man. Happy Thanksgiving. Yeah, I mean, I'm here dying, man. 12-hour shifts. I'm tired. I'm reading chat. Doing things that I hate. God damn. Brew Yan, welcome, welcome. Hi, are you doing gesture drawings? Indeed, I am. Doing an hour of gesture drawings because I hate myself. But welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. One more day before Mary Carey reaches full power. What do you mean? It already has begun ever since freaking what, November 1st? Do you not remember the freaking memes that you sent? This part right here. Hello, welcome through. And our own G Rip. Hi. Yep. I do 1 minute of 60 gestures. So it's an hour. Yep. I love gesture drawings. I love drawing so heavy. Thanksgiving was the last line of defense, bruh. Last line of defense. We'll see. Are you doing anything in particular, Will, for the giving of the thanks on Turkey Day, or nah? I don't know what I'm doing. No, I know exactly what I'm doing. I should be sleeping right now. But no. But no, my body's like, well, you haven't drawn in a little while. You should draw. So here I am doing exactly that. Getting ready to make questionable choices with my money. Ah, I see. Uh Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Ho ho ho. I mean, do you know what things you wanna buy? Oh no, not yet. I mean, you know what I want for Black Friday? I want some stocks, man. Oh, I want to get stocks for cheap, man. I want there to like I want all the good stocks to go on sale. Hell, bring up I don't mind a bear market, bro. I don't mind a market crash. A market adjustment. I have the capital for it. I got the cash for it, I should say. Oh damn, this position is kind of yeah. Gundam cards that I don't need but want. Listen, listen, listen. It'll be good for my future, man. It'll be good for my future. But yeah, I mean, I have an improved the plan for investments. Oh yeah. Did a good amount of research in the past few days. I mean at work when I had some during some downtime doing some research and whatnot. I'm like, ooh, okay. I know what I could do to have a good and diverse portfolio. What a future. What's a future? could talk about what things I'm thinking of getting. Like for instance, there's two companies I want to invest in that I haven't already, which is Google, and then the other one is Cloudflare. Cloudflare because they're a cybersecurity company. I'm like, oh yeah, cybersecurity is gonna get pretty important, regardless of AI or not. And then the next one is Google. Reason for Google is because Google is really good. Also, freaking dude, if you looked at Google, like from like April to now, the amount that they growth is kind of insane. But I mean, that's one of the reasons. But the big one is Google is actually working on creating or they're focusing on something called TPUs. You know, like how all the AI models and whatnot are running off of GPUs. Yeah, Google's trying to make their own thing called TPUs for their AI. And then the thing with Google, the advantage that Google has amongst any other company is the sheer amount of data that they have. That's why everything that Google provides service wise is like quote unquote free. It's not necessarily free. Where we are paying with our data and they have all of that. So once their hardware gets pretty decent, oh, they're gonna be making mad bank. So that's why I wanna invest in Google, or plan to, I should say. And then I know what kind of split. That's terrible. I know what kind of split I'm going. Toilet paper per unit. Yeah, sure. Actually, yeah. Let's call it that. That makes it kind of funny. Toilet paper per unit. Paper unit. But yeah. Then I am also invested in a cyberconductor company called NVTI, whatever. It's like a new technology. New technology. Their P to F ratio is pretty good. It is definitely a risky asset. It's a small cap, I believe. And it is definitely a riskier. It is definitely on the riskier. It is volatile. If certain things doesn't fall through, the company will bust, or you'll like lose a good amount of money. So that one is my gamble one, and that's gonna be, yeah, that one is definitely like me gambling. Out of all of my investments, that one is probably the biggest one because everything else is long term is going to do very very well, regardless what happens. That one, yeah, that one is the other one is high risk, high reward. So we'll see. We'll see. Probably once I get my. I mean, technically, yes, I can invest in it. Like right now, I mean, Google and Cloudflare. But I'm just waiting till I get my paycheck. No, I won't use any of my monies right now. It's good to have some cash, you know? Might as well just use it at a more appropriate time. So right now. We'll see. We'll see. Mm, Let's see. Yeah, quote unquote, not the financial advice. I should have led with that. Just a random guy on the internet, just talking about things that I'm going to invest in. What I'm doing doesn't mean you should. Definitely. Oh, I'm tired. I'm so tired, man. Damn. Oh yeah, I am not waking up for a while. But yeah, anyways. But yeah, Black Friday sales. Actual consumer goods. Uh, there isn't really anything that I like really desire right now. Because PC stuff, I'm fine. There's no way I want to get new stuff or upgrade because of RAM prices are insane right now. Also, there's no need. I don't feel like I'm getting bottleneck in any of the things that I do right now in terms of like tech stuff. So no tech items. Coffee? I mean, definitely I could upgrade like certain things on my coffee setup, but there is no strong desire for me to do it. To be like, oh yeah, I want a new grinder. I want this. There's like no burning desire right now. Of course, I could get a better cup of coffee if I spend a lot of monies on new machines, but I'm very satisfied. I'm adequately satisfied with the things that I have. Maybe maybe next year, I might get new equipment. I don't know. So yeah, um, I mean, I bought a few new stuff for art, like an art book, an illustration book. I got another book about clothing or like fashions for my clothing studies. But again, I bought it used. I bought it the cheapest that I could. But yeah, uh, just yeah, because there's no like consumer good that I really want to buy. Yeah. Again, the I think the only thing that I would like truly like would really want like really badly is iPad mini that has like OLED. Or like mini LED. or like 120 hertz refresh rate. Like it has like promotion. I'm just waiting for it to happen, bro. I would want. I think something like that. I would buy. I would want. But Apple has not officially announced yet, or there's like, but there has been leaks about it. But I do not think it's going to be coming in the holidays. It'll probably be sometime in the spring. So I'm like, okay. Yeah, because of that, again, no real desire. Yeah. Yep. I mean, yeah, that's one of the reasons why. I mean, I've been investing. Whenever I get a paycheck, I always put the money in investments, savings, investments, emergency fund, all that jazz. But since I'm not buying a whole bunch of like stuff, I'm now putting more money into savings. And then now I'm like, okay, well, I shouldn't have money just put in a savings account losing value because of inflation. So that's when I'm like, okay, I guess I'll do more research and invest more because I literally have nothing else. It's like what rich. It's like rich people, first world problems. I don't know what to spend my money on. I guess I'll just buy a whole bunch of assets because assets will make you more money in the long run. I mean, damn. I mean, yeah. I mean, it actually is. If you actually look at the history of it, and if you do the math for it too, it's my thing. Yay! I'm finished with my cringe gesture drawings. So, 25. Okay. Let's see. I need to post this. Damn. They're VC? Those bastards. Is the whole channel just for classes now? That's kind of insane. Hmm. Let's say 121. Like, oh, you can't come. 122. Oh, I'm doing eyes. Not very fun, but still better than gesture drawings. Facts. Funny. Factual. I mean, yeah, I do other boring stuff, but I mean, again, it's better than it's definitely better than gesture drawing, man. Just journaling is like one of the worst things on earth. Literally, once takes so much willpower to not scratch my eyes out. Okay. I'm officially pooped. I'll draw more later, I guess. I need to go to sleep. I've been awake for oh damn. I've been awake for too long. I've been awake for so last time I went to sleep was yesterday. Oh, I've been awake for 28 hours. I should probably go to sleep. Do your homework. I'll do my homework after I celebrate Thanksgiving. No, no, no. 28 hours. How to do my gesture drawings. Oh, people wanted me to do critiques, and then I had to do gesture drawings. It's literally because I worked. I did. I did my. I worked for 12 hours. Then I'm here. Anyways, okay. I'll be back. I don't know when. All right. I'm gonna go to sleep now. I'm tired. I'm very tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. Okay, see you. Bye. Okay, bye. Hope you enjoy. Bye.